Hi, I'm Amy Carpenter, and this is Around Town with Amy. Today's show is on a man who has dedicated his life to helping others. That is coming up next on Around Town with Amy.
Sure Shot Directional Boring is proud to support Around Town with Amy. We are the region's trusted directional boring and hydro excavation service experts. With more than 20 years' experience, Sure Shot Directional Boring ensures projects will be handled skillfully, safely, on time, and within budget. Contact us today at 740-689-1221 or online at sureshotboring.com.
What I like about my job as a prevention supervisor is I'm able to help train our staff along with working with our schools and building those relationships within our school districts in Fairfield County. And then also I like that in my position, I'm able to hire interns that are going into the social work field so they have that opportunity to step into the field before just starting their degree right off the bat.
This job really gave me a chance to work on some of the bigger systems issues. So making sure that we're an equitable system, that we treat everybody fairly. So people of color, people who have experienced trauma, people who have been through poverty, LGBTQ youth. So it's been really good for me because I've gotten to work not just with individuals, but also working on some of those bigger systems within our county and throughout our state.
I am driven by my belief that every individual deserves an opportunity to achieve mental and emotional balance, and I'm very passionate about contributing to that process.
I like the people that I work with and that I meet every day. I often feel that I am meeting these really driven people who want to make a difference in their community, and it's very inspiring to me.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
If your child is struggling in school, Dr. Amy's tutoring service is your trusted tutor in the Lancaster area. Dr. Amy has been a teacher for over 25 years and has taught kindergarten, first, second, and third grades. She has multiple degrees to help your child with reading, writing, spelling, math, science, and social studies. Dr. Amy offers one-on-one tutoring using various methods to help students improve grades, confidence, and master fundamental skills. Amy's goal is to help kids learn and grow and to achieve success in their problem areas. Dr. Amy's tutoring service is here to help. To book an appointment, contact Amy today.
Hank's Pet Sitting Service is your trusted pet service in the Lancaster area. Pet owners can rest assured knowing that Hank's Pet Sitting Service will treat your fur babies like one of their own. We specialize in a home away from home atmosphere to keep your pet comfortable. From drop-in visits, dog walking, or potty breaks for your pooch, Hank's Pet Sitting Service is here to help. To book an appointment, contact Hank's Pet Sitting Service today.
Doug Shell didn't always know he wanted to be a fireman. As a child, he was more farm-oriented. He graduated and went to the Ohio State University. Doug planned on being an ag teacher or a farmer. One day, a buddy of his told him that the fire department was giving a test. Doug took the fire department test in 1985 at the Ohio State Fairgrounds. The fire department was not hiring that many firemen, so he didn't think he would get in. In 1986, he was told he could start the entry process, and in 1987, Doug was hired for the Columbus Fire Department. After 4 months of training, Doug was hired full-time. Doug shares about his first day on the job.
We started out, after graduation, we went out to the firehouse. So we got there more like at about in the afternoon and spent the day there. So we had to finish off our 24-hour shift there. My first day was a pretty big day, pretty unique. We had a lot of runs. but we had a pretty big run in the middle of the evening that night, where we had a house trailer that had gotten firebombed, and we had a victim, which we ended up having to testify in court on and everything. So it was kind of an eye-opening situation to what the fire department was going to be like.
A memorable moment Doug recalls is being first on the scene when Georgia Pacific exploded on September 10, 1997. The explosion killed one worker, injured 4 others, and caused significant damage to the facility. His crew was able to provide medical assessment, basic first aid, and stabilization until further medical assistance arrived. Doug shares his recollection of the Georgia Pacific explosion.
Well, we were all at the station, and it was, we actually felt the explosion at the station. We thought a car had hit something out in front of the station. And when we guys went out and kind of looked around and didn't see nothing, then when we got dispatched on an explosion. The station was only probably about 2 miles from the Georgia Pacific. So when we arose, the other station, the sister station to us, was pulling up at about the same time. So there was quite a bit of devastation. I mean, it took out probably a good third to half of the building. We had a lot of damage to buildings that were beside it. It was in a somewhat of an industrial complex area, but there was a residential area on the back side of the rail yard. And, it give you the, you take all these training classes on mass incidents where people are running out, and that's what we had. We had all the workers that were there coming out, and we just had to start, kind of organizing how many victims we had, and if we had people trapped, which we found we had about 6 victims unaccounted for, which we ended up locating and getting 5 of the 6 out. So between us and Station 14.
In 1995, Doug was asked to come and work part-time at the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. One day, he responded to a call that he will never forget.
So I was working the mid-shift for the Sheriff's Office up in Violet Township, and I was just about ready to get off, and we had a report of a car that had possibly been involved in an armed robbery out of Licking County. And I was sitting at Milner and Refugee, and a car that met the description of it had went through the stop sign there at Refugee. So I went ahead and proceeded to follow it, ran the tag. Tag didn't come back correctly to anything, so suspicions get a little bit more higher with it. Went ahead and advised radio that I was going to, make a traffic stop. So when I lit the car up, tried to get them to stop, they decided to keep going. Not actually a pursuit, but they just kept driving, which heightened everything even more. And then when we got to the dip in Refugee Road, they decided to stop clear at the very bottom of the dip, which put us in a real bad spot to make a stop, especially being a possible, a high risk stop. So I wanted to get out and identify the people first. And I got out, identified them, and was trying to get some quick information. Was getting ready to have them pull to the top of the hill. And as I started to walk back to the cruiser, I heard the car coming down Refugee Road, and it was traveling pretty fast. She locked her brakes up at the top of the hill, slid a little over 200 feet, hit my cruiser, shoved the cruiser over the top of me. And then next thing I remember was being in Grant Hospital.
Being a firefighter is a stressful job. Many firefighters deal with mental, physical, and relationship issues. They also struggle with substance abuse and suicide. The problem with being a first responder is once you see something, you can't unsee it. Many first responders deal with flashbacks, where they relive a traumatic event as if it's happening all over again. Doug learned over the years that the best way to deal with these moments was to talk to his fellow firefighters who understood exactly what he was going through. Doug explains, all firefighters should talk through runs once they have them, so they are able to process the trauma and communicate how to improve the run for the next time. Sharing feelings is hard for many first responders to do because many think that it is a sign of weakness. In reality, asking for help is the strongest thing that you can do for yourself. The key to being a good firefighter is living a balanced life. It is taking care of yourself both physically and mentally. After many firefighters retire, they use their life of solitude to relive the trauma that they experienced. Doug is not about to let that happen to him. To Doug, a busy lifestyle is important to combat these thoughts and emotions. Doug shares advice to those who have a first responder going through a hard time.
I think one of the biggest things is just communicate with them, understand your personal moods, show what you've done. A lot of guys are quiet. Then they've probably been involved in something. It may not be the best time to push for answers at that time. Let it calm down, and then, just be there to listen, talk, do whatever. I think that's the kind of the biggest thing is just be able to listen, not make judgment is the biggest one.
To learn more about Doug's career as a firefighter, check out my story, The Beginning of a New Adventure, in the January 20th edition of the Towne Crier. Thank you for joining me on Around Town with Amy.